Hi. How's it going? I got bad news, everybody. I got bad news for all of you. We're going to bring somebody else in to make the announcement. See if it works.
Out of an abundance of caution and due to inclement weather, this is no Riter Radio episode 244 Thursday, January 15th. Please be safe. We are a community of cowards. Out of an abundance of caution and due to inclement weather, this is no Riter Radio episode 244 Thursday, January 15th. Please be safe. We are a community of cowards.
We are a community of cowards. Hey, welcome to the show. I'm going to do the show anyway, even though there's some snow outside. How about that? Isn't that crazy? Isn't that nuts that life goes on? We live in Buffalo. Good God. That I paraphrased, well, I changed the end of it. The start of it was exactly the text I received at 5:30 a.m. I didn't see it till, after 9, because I hit snooze a couple times and whatever. But it says, out of an abundance of caution. If you're starting with out of an abundance of caution, isn't that an indicator that you're like, yeah, this is weak. This is us being weak. An abundance of caution for what? Why is school closed? My sister lives in Boston, Hamburg, Boston, not the real Boston, the one here. I bet they're closed, and I bet there's a reason for it. Although I think the snow was supposed to be mostly north. I'm not sure, because I'm mostly north, and we don't have anything. But I do have 3 kids home. I'm sorry, I have 2 kids home. One of them heard there was no school and left. And he went to McDonald's with his friend, which is about as far from here as the school is. What are we doing? I've been enraged since waking up. I don't get it, man. The first I learned that there might be snow today was when Bob Gaughan was on yesterday and he was talking about clearing his neighbor's driveways. So he's in charge of 4 of them because his son lives next door and his son's worthless. According to him. I don't think his son's worthless. I think his son's great. And how the people at the corner houses don't do their driveway or don't do the sidewalks and how that sucks and they're in cahoots and they know that if one does it, the other one has to do it and it'll make them look bad. So they don't do it. That was the conversation yesterday. That was the first I heard that the beautiful, lush, green backyard that I saw yesterday at my house was about to be sullied by this dirty snow. It's not dirty snow, it's just snow, but you know what I'm saying. What are we doing? What are we doing? So I'm going to, here, let's, this is what all the news channels must have been like this morning. For the entirety of the show today, I'm just going to read all the closings. Out of an abundance of caution, just to make sure all of you are safe. 716 and more is closed today. I don't know what that is. Agribusiness Child Development at Batavia is closed today. Akron Central Schools. Akron Newstead Senior Center. Albion Central Schools. Alden Central Schools. Alden Stay Fit Dining Senior Services. Alden's Meals on Wheels. Well, that's just not serve food to senior citizens because of an inch of snow. Holy crap. Alexander Central, Amherst Central, Amherst Christian Academy, Amherst Senior Center, Arc, Erie County, Hamburg. Don't I sound stupid right now? Don't I sound stupid for the last 48 seconds? I've just been reading things that start with A that are closed because it's snowing on January 15th in Buffalo. What a bunch of losers we have become. This is pathetic. We are pathetic as a society. I blame COVID. I blame everything that happened around COVID for turning us into this. But this is atrocious. This is embarrassing. We have a calendar on our wall. Part of me wants to do the show like walking around today, going outside and realizing there's nothing wrong out there. I want to show you my kitchen calendar that is loaded with events for today. So today should be, my wife she's got a ton of stuff going on. She works from home, but she's upstairs and she's got a bunch of meetings coming out. There's just a bunch of stuff. So she's swamped. She was working till like 11 or 11:30 last night before finally bailing on it and going to bed. I'm working on a bunch of stuff, some for the show, mostly for Brain Vault, which begins in 12 days now, 2 weeks from 2 days ago, so whatever that is. Yeah, 12 days. It's a Tuesday night at the Kaz in South Buffalo. Tickets available online, thekazbuffalo.com. We're up to 17 tickets sold so far, the last I looked. So that's pretty good, something. But I need you guys to go do that. That would be very helpful. The more the merrier. Please fill it. Because I'm spending way too much time getting ready for this 2-hour event. And that's just the first of many. Because we're doing it every Tuesday, starting on that date. But getting ready for the first one is a lot of work. Maybe I should shut it down because it snowed today, so we probably won't hold it, right? That's the way we work. My God. Attica's closed. Aurora, Waldorf. Don't go there. On to B. Brick, Buffalo Academy. Bridge, Assembly of God. BVS, Early Childhood Program at Monarch. BVS, Early Childhood Program at St. John's. Barker Central, Batavia City School District. Bemis Point Central. Bemis Point has a school. Bethesda World Harvest International Church, closed today. Beyond Learning Center. Bishop Timon St. Jude. Born in Buffalo LLC. Born Hava Chateau Terrace. Born Hava Grace Academy. Born Hava Lockport Academy. Boys and Girls Club of North Chautauqua County. Boys and Girls Clubs of Buffalo. Brockton Central. Do any of you people have more than an inch of snow? Some of you do. I started to say this. My sister lives in Boston. They probably, there's probably a reason for like Hamburg schools to be closed. Maybe there's a reason for, I don't know, Lewiston. Let's see if Lewiston's closed. Just pull them out of nowhere. I just know that it was supposed to hit north. Yeah, Newport. You're out. Lancaster. Just scrolling through. Canton. Iroquois. Hamburg. Is there anyone willing to stand up? Is there a school superintendent willing to stand up and go, I know that everyone else in our community is weak as hell, but we're going to have school today. Hey, teachers, you've got a job to do. Get here. You live in Buffalo. It snows sometimes. You might have to brush off your car. You might have to shovel. It might be a little slick. You might have to go a little slow. But we're going to need you here because we built our society around the fact that kids go to school. Kids go to school on weekdays. Time out. I'm fine. Grand Island's closed. Gloria Parks Community Center, no! Yeah, closed. What do you guys think? All right, let's play a game. I'm going to say the name of an institution in Western New York where it may or may not be snowy. And it probably is snowy. It's probably about that snowy. This snowy. You guess. Open or closed. Ready? Gifted math program at UB. All right. Pencils down. Closed. Global Concepts Charter School. Pencils down. Closed. Gowanus Central. I already gave that one away. Forestville. Closed. 14 Holy Helpers. Closed. Fredonia Central. Closed. Fredonia Central Erie. There's a Fredonia Central Chautauqua and a Fredonia Central Erie. They're both closed. All right. I'm going to put these all together. And there's one answer. I want you to think about this one. I want you to concentrate. Your choices are open or closed. You're going to guess what the situation is. Ready? These are Erie 1 BOCES, CalSpan Career and Tech Center, Edge Academy at Pine Hill, Harkness Center and Technical Center, Kenton Career and Technical Center, Northtowns Academy, Potter Career and Technical Center, Winchester Academy, E Academy. We're going to have to talk about that one. Baker Road, Cam P Tech Springville, Carrier Educational Center. We're down to Erie 2 BOCES, but that's, it's fine. Ormsby Educational Center, Western New York P Tech Dunkirk, Academy at Maple Avenue, and LeJudas Educational Center, Fredonia. What's your guess on those? Are they open or are they closed? Closed. They're closed. They're closed today. Everything's closed today. I am curious about E Academy. I need to find out what Erie 1 BOCES E Academy is, because that sure sounds like a school you do from your computer in your house. And if we're closing online school for snow, we have a massive problem in society. Am I nuts? Yeah, it's virtual learning. E-Academy. An exciting virtual learning experience for general education students in grades 7 through 12. Now serving grades, yeah, okay. I didn't know this existed. But Erie One BOCES E-Academy Alternative Education online school is closed because there's an inch of snow. What do they say? Due to poor weather conditions, school is closed today. That's the perfect example. And that's why I have one friend who's a superintendent in Western New York. I think I have 3 superintendent friends, but not around here, just one around here. And I don't want to, put him on blast by putting him on here and making him defend all of this cowardice that exists amongst our entire educational system and society in general when it comes to snow. But I blame COVID. COVID normalized cancellation of things. I was thinking about this recently. The only other thing, there are 2 things that cancel stuff in your life, in my life, I feel. The 2 things that really, sorry, I know I signed up for this thing a year and a half ago, and it's tomorrow, but I can't do it. One is death in family. The other is Bills playoff game. That's what I'm okay with canceling things for. Our basketball season for Southline and Cheektowaga has not started yet because our opening day for the 3rd out of 4 years or something was scheduled for a day where a Bills playoff game landed. Now, the previous ones were home games, and you just can't do that. As our previous administrator of the league used to say, the coaches don't want to be there, the players don't want to be there, the parents don't want to be there, the refs don't want to be there. We're not doing it. I get that. And then this year it was a road game, but it's still kind of the same thing. It was right in the middle of the day. It was going to mess up everything. We're watching the Bills. That's what we do here in Buffalo. The other thing we do is we shovel snow, and we have 4-wheel drive vehicles, and we handle it. We don't all have 4-wheel drive. I understand that, but that's not the point. It's what the hell happened? Aside from COVID, is there any explanation other than COVID made us weak and willing to cancel things that are planned? Started talking about this already, and then I got off track, but that's me. Welcome to Riter Radio. This is how it sounds. Should I cancel my online radio show because it's snowing out there a little? I don't even know that it's snowing. It's snow-ed. It snowed. Our calendar upstairs, we've been dreading today. So I will say this. Schedule's clear. No plans anymore. Just this and working to get ready for more shows and for my my trivia venture, Brain Vault, at the Cas. Because tonight was going to be crazy. Maybe baseball practice will still be on. Let's see if that's going on. How's All In Sports looking? Did they close whenever everyone else is a coward? We might get to do one of the things. But it was supposed to be, I'd have to have it in front of me. I'll try. All right, so today's Thursday. It would have been everybody goes to school, everybody gets home from school, and then we launch into everyone's got to be everywhere at the same time mode again. So it was Zach has basketball practice 4:30 to 6 for school. That's canceled because school's closed. 6 o'clock, Drew has baseball practice. That is not affiliated with a school and may still exist. So schools might be the problem here. We're thinking through it. I also threaten often to take calls. 288-5246 is the number. I do want people to check in from around Western New York. If you're available and interested, let me know your situation. Like, what happened? When did you find out school was closed? Because it seems like they're all closed. And what are you doing with it? And do you believe in this? And are we all cowards? Because this is terrible. I think this is a terrible life that we're leading at this point. When let's just close Buffalo then. Let's all move elsewhere. If we can't handle this, what are we? If the Bills were playing tomorrow, all the schools would be closed, and we'd still have the team asking for volunteers to come shovel the stadium, and we'd go. What is this? Basketball at 4:30 obviously is canceled because that's at school. 6 o'clock baseball practice might still be on. 6 o'clock concert. Kids have been preparing since September for a concert. That's canceled. I believe it's a 6 o'clock and a 7:30 concert because they do the younger kids and then the older kids. 2 concerts canceled. So my trumpet playing son, concert canceled. My saxophone playing son, concert canceled. And then there's another basketball practice slated for 7 o'clock. I don't know how we were going to do it. We were just going to wing it, and I was going to miss some stuff, I think. But that's at a Cheektowaga school. That's canceled. When school's closed, the school is closed. And the activities afterward are out. They're done. They're shut down. So there won't be... we're going to lose out on 2 concerts and 2 basketball practices and potentially a baseball practice because of a dusting of snow. Now, you might not be... You're not where I am. But I know what it looks like here, and here's how much it snowed. The plow definitely came. I can tell because there is less snow on my street. There's no snow on my street. Than there is on my driveway, where there's a little bit on the driveway. But even with the plow coming, it didn't push enough snow to the foot of the driveway to where I'm like, oh, I got to go get out there with the snowblower. Like, nah. I mean, I'll get to it. There's a little bit there. I'll see if it's shovel time or snowblower time. But it's not put on all my stuff. Put on the big snowsuit and that's when school is closed. I should have to be outside with a snowblower. And I don't need to be outside with a snowblower at all. So what are we doing? Like, I don't have an answer to this. I just think this is pathetic. And we're all just falling in line. If there was one, like Buffalo, if Buffalo school superintendent, whoever that is, we're going to be like, yeah, no, it's fine. We live in Buffalo. We have school today. Maybe others could fall in line. But there's not one. Is there one? Do we know of one? If you know of one that's not closed, put it in the chat. But my God, what are we doing? We're pathetic. All right, I'm going to look at the chat right now. When we were kids, we waited until the very last minute. I would sit at the kitchen table, listening to the radio, praying for a closing. Yeah. And I remember distinctly, having grown up in West Seneca, that it was alphabetical. There was no internet, so you couldn't just scroll down to W. You had to wait. They'd start at Amherst, and they'd keep going. You get to, like, Wales, and you're like, all right, it's coming. And they're like, West Falls. Like, come on. And then it'd be, I don't know, what would come after us. I can look. I've got the list open. What came after W? There was one that was like the death knell. Like, you knew, like, they said that one. They didn't say us. We're past W. This sucks. What would it be? I'm going to look. What comes after W? West Valley. West Valley was the one that meant West Seneca, it's not happening for you today. And it never did. Or Williamsville. Williamsville's closed. I know that because here we are. Wilson, Wyoming, Youngstown. If they said Youngstown, you're like, oh, man, you're not even on W's anymore. Sucks. This is terrible. It's terrible and pathetic. Good news is the kids are quiet. There's no noise. There's no fighting. I was texting with my buddy. He's like, yeah, the kids are screaming at each other, so I guess they're playing video games. This sucks. Out of an abundance of caution. If you have to write out of an abundance of caution, that means you know you didn't need to do this. Out of cowardice is what you should say. out of keeping up with the Joneses, out of peer pressure. Maybe that's what it is. Is it peer pressure? I should at least, like, when I take a break, text my superintendent friend. I don't want to call him out, but, like, is it peer pressure? Who made you do this? I would assume anyone who makes it to the level of school superintendent has intelligence and probably some wisdom, right? Like, I would never say that our superintendent is stupid. I shouldn't say that. There was one. But generally speaking, like, school superintendent is a very respectable position and is only for people with intelligence and education. Yet I strongly believe they are all succumbing to some level of peer pressure. But why? What are we doing? What are we doing? Teachers, are you okay with this? Are you okay with, like, I used to find that to be a respectable position as well. And it's not respectable. But it's like, is there anyone who's like, no, I'm going to go to work today. Today's Thursday. We have school. I'm going to go there. I don't know, man. I don't know. Sweet Home's closed. Everything's closed. Everything's closed. I kind of want to do the show outside. I can't move the whole setup outside. But I could sit, we've got a gazebo thing in our backyard. I could sit under that and just do the show and be fine. I could probably sit not under that and be fine too, because it's not snowing. We're closed for what? An abundance of caution for what? Like, what do we fear? There have been 2 or 3 days in my lifetime. I don't remember the blizzard of 77. But 2 to 3 days in my adult lifetime, let's say. So I know we had a blizzard in 85. There's an ice storm in, I don't know when that was, 93 probably, 94, something like that. We had the October thing. That was crazy. That was a good reason to close schools. Because you couldn't drive on the roads at all because all the trees and power lines were down. And there was no electricity anywhere. Like that made sense. That was worth closing. This is not anything at all. But our society is built around our school system. It really is. Our school systems, I should say, but like collectively, our school system. There is an anticipation that on Monday through Friday, from September through June, children will not be home. This impacts me less than it impacts others. And I recognize that, but I'm empathetic, sympathetic. Are those both the same word? I don't know. I'll never know. But I feel for other people. And if mom's got to go to work and dad's got to go to work and the kids are supposed to go to school and then at 5:30 you get a text message from the superintendent saying, out of an abundance of caution, I'm staying home today. I don't think we should allow this in society. I don't think this is what we want to be. A bunch of cowards. What are we talking about? It doesn't actually matter to me. It doesn't, but it's very frustrating. All right, so we've also closed Spectrum Healthcare Coordination, Erie County. I don't know what Spectrum Healthcare does, but it sounds important. And I feel like people might need to get there. One says services, medical, services, medical. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 different places called Spectrum Health are closed today. telehealth only. Does that mean that's open? Maybe that means that's open. Maybe you can still call and be assessed by phone or something. So we're shutting down healthcare things. How about the hospitals? Are the hospitals closed because it might snow? As someone who's planning to get a haircut next week for the first time in years. My hair hasn't been growing for years. I just cut it myself. I've got clippers I use to cut my kids' hair. I just do it myself because I don't usually go on stage, but I'm about to go on stage, so I'm going to get a real haircut. Sharp Edges Barber Institute is closed. What if the person who's supposed to cut my hair next Friday has a final? They're going to learn how to do exactly what I need today at Sharp Edges Barber Institute. Then they're going to go to Buffalo Trim and start working there, and then they're going to cut my hair. What if they're closed today? What if my haircut sucks because it snowed? Anybody think of that? I didn't think so. It's a joke. The whole thing's a joke. I feel like Lindy Ruff felt when Darcy Tucker took out Jochen Hesch's knee in the playoffs. That's how I feel. All right, let's look at the chat. There's a lot going on here. I asked Patty, do they cancel school for an inch of snow in Washington? She said, no, they also don't cancel school in anticipation of weather. Right. Will the boys be joining the show today, or are they already on timeout? Maybe. I don't have a plan for it. One of them's gone. One of them's watching TV. I don't have like a specific thing to do with them. And I don't like when I bring them on and they don't have anything and I don't have anything. So probably no, but I'm set up for it. I've got the camera right there. Camera and the light. Got to move a couple things and rearrange a chair or two. And one of them could come on. I said, or what is it? Oh, somebody said, feel free to address your concerns in the live stream. And I said, I feel very free. Tempted to call my good friend, best man / school superintendent friend to harass him about this, but I guess I'll leave him alone. Patty says, hell no, my kids were the school's problem when they were that young. Mama needed her free time. Yeah, right. That's what I mean. Get on the bus. Where's the bus? No bus? Out of an abundance of caution? Cowards. It's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Oh, no, it might be cold today. Let's cancel school. It's not that it might be cold. It's that it might snow. What is the temperature? What is the weather forecast? I haven't even looked at that. God, this is annoying.
Out of an abundance of caution and due to inclement weather, the Is No Riter Radio episode 244 Thursday, January 15th.
Yeah, okay.
Please be safe. We are a community of cowards.
I've got 16 degrees. Precipitation, 34%. Wind, 9 miles an hour. No school. No school, no 2 concerts. Think of all the people, all the arrangements that have been made, all the practicing that's been done. Just the concerts alone. Let's just think about those. These are massive events with, affecting family upon family. They're going to fill up an auditorium twice, I believe. I think it was 2 separate concerts because there are so many friggin' kids involved in the bands that they have the younger kids first and then the older kids. And I think it was going to be that. Or it was going to be one long one, but either way. I've got a 7th grader. No, what do I have? I have a 6th grader and an 8th grader that were both supposed to be in a concert tonight. So what do? Just move that to a different day? We've got a lot of stuff on our schedule. We arranged things around this. We canceled on basketball practices. I would like to withdraw the cancellation on the practice because that doesn't look good when you say you can't make a practice. Then the practice doesn't happen. And so you're like, oh, good, I didn't miss it. But you were still the kid, the family, that's like, we weren't coming. And they don't arrange playing time around that or anything. Maybe for the school one they do. But we weren't going to miss the school one. But the school one is going to miss us because it canceled itself. Ugh. Are you embarrassed? If you are a school administrator, school teacher, are you embarrassed that this is how we all see you now? Because I think you should be. What are you doing? High of 17, low of 12. Our schools are indoors, so that's fine. All right, hourly forecast. I want to know what it looked like at 5:30 this morning because I don't know. I just know that I got a text then. Winter storm warning. Okay, so in red, this is weather.com, the Weather Channel's website. Most I've ever used the word weather in one little 10 seconds. All right. Hourly weather, Amherst, New York, as of 10:39 a.m. So that's a minute ago. Things could change. There's a red banner that says winter storm warning. And then right under that, in not red, it says occasional snow likely to continue for the next several hours. And then it's got little blue lines that seem to indicate like when it might snow. There's 3 levels here. It's heavy, moderate, and light. And between now and 3:30, 3:15, there are little bars showing all of it. Every one of them says light. Then after that, it shows nothing. And then after that, it shows even lighter than the light. So from like 3:15 to 5:15, it shows nothing at all. And then tiny little bumps for like, oh, you might see a flake or something. And that's the whole deal. Winter storm warning. Warning. Occasional snow likely to continue for the next several hours. It might snow a little. I don't want to be a part of this society. I don't want to live in this. It was a standard joke. I'm going to say when I was a kid, but I feel like until 2020 that when it snows in D.C., let's say, it shuts down. Or like they get half an inch in Baltimore and the world ends. Because they don't have a stockpile of salt and plows. We do. We live here. We can handle it. We could handle it. Apparently now we can't handle it. We're closing online schools. Online schools in Buffalo. Erie Bosie's E-Academy. I don't know anything about it. But I know that it sucks now. Sorry. Our virtual learning center is closed. Please don't log in. It's snowing outside. All right, back to the chat. Consider us therapists who don't charge a copay. It's the craziest thing I've ever heard. I already said that one. Our schools are more likely to cancel if the roads look like a glazed donut. Snow, not so much. Yeah, sure. And I'm not even saying all of Western New York is wrong for closing schools. I'm saying Amherst and Williamsville are wrong for closing schools. This is absurd. Closing schools and canceling basketball times 2 and canceling concert times 2. All today. Today on our calendar is like bedlam. And, you know, it's easier. It's easier for me to do nothing tonight. But I don't want to do nothing. We signed up for all the stuff. Signed up for basketball because we like it. Signed up for music stuff because we like it. Today's the day. Today's the day we showcase what they've been working on. Nah, let's just not have the concerts. And maybe they reschedule. I heard Nate, I think, yesterday. No, it wasn't Nate. It was Drew. Drew's got a concert coming up, too. That's going to be something. Drew and his trombone. He's 9. He's had a trombone for a couple months. We're going to watch the rest of the kids do it, too. Ooh. He's getting good. He's getting really good at the trombone. I said that in case he can hear me. He's not at all getting good at the trombone. It sounds He might eventually get good at it. He said that he heard that if school is closed whenever his concert is, which is not tonight, that they would just push it back to the spring. I'm okay with that one. But the rest of this it's good. I like music. And I like that my kids play music. And they're supposed to play tonight, but they can't because there might be moderate snow from now till 3. The hell are we talking about? When we were kids, they waited till the very last minute. I read that. Oh, yeah, this is good. They waited till the very last minute. I would sit at the kitchen table listening to the radio, praying for a closing, usually because I didn't study for a test the night before. Nick says, oh, yeah, if even a dusting was in the forecast, I didn't bother with the homework, and Depew never closed. Same, I don't recall many school closures as a kid. We had snow on the ground from November to March back then. We put on our snowsuits and moon boots, walked uphill both ways, and dealt with it. Honestly, aside from the both ways uphill thing that's been a joke forever, the rest is right. It felt like there was snow the whole time. Like, we didn't have a day. Yesterday, my wife was saying, oh, I hate this. I hate that it's going to snow. And I said, well, we live in Buffalo. You're not supposed to see this green grass on January 14th. And by the 15th, we don't. But that's the extent of it. If not for a total thaw over the last week or so, I don't feel like school would have been canceled today. It'd be like, oh, there's snow on the ground, like there was yesterday. I guess we'll go to school. They'll go to school tomorrow because there's snow on the ground, and you're like, oh, that's right, we live in Buffalo. But for some reason, at 5:30 a.m., it's fine for a superintendent to be like, you know what, out of an abundance of caution, let's just all stay home. Have some hot cocoa and relax. It's so weak. It's just so weak. It's embarrassing. Homeroom time equals homework time. Community of cowards. I had to snowblow this morning, 3 to 4 inches, says Ray. Ray's in Amherst. Ray's a few miles from here. 3 to 4 inches. Yeah, you had to snowblow. It's the way we used to do it. Oh, no. It snowed. Guess I better get up half an hour early. Clear the driveway. Or clear just the end of the driveway so that it's safe. Clear the sidewalk for the mailman or whatever. Mailman's going to be fine. I'm not canceling mail, right? Rain, sleet, snow, hail. Who the hell cares? I think that's their motto. It's something like that. I'm paraphrasing the motto of the USPS. But my man Tim is going to put coupons in my mailbox or something today, right? That's going to happen. He'll be fine. He's walking. He might have already done it. Soft snow day today. 2-ply. I remember when it took a minus 20 wind chill before school closed. Yeah. October 2006, surprise, 20-year anniversary. That's really 20 years ago. Jesus. My man Arbo called in sick today. You should definitely go out and shovel your driveway and sidewalk, Brad. I will, Ray, when I'm done with the show. I got the show. The person cutting your hair next Friday should have a license by now. They would have had exams a long time ago. That's helpful. Brad, not shoveling the driveway or sidewalk. He has 3 kids home. That'd be just dumb. I was outside at 3:30 a.m. and it was snowing a little more heavily than it is now. Wait, kids do manual labor these days? I thought that was only in the olden days. Everything got softer after 2020. I thought COVID would have killed the snow day with the Zoom classes. Right? How about that? How about virtual class? Oh, the teachers can't make it to school? Well, get on the computer like the kids are gonna. And we're going virtual. Fire it up. Lock them in a room and give them something to do. It's not on me. At 10 o'clock in the morning to deal with 3 kids? Well, it's only 2 because one just went to McDonald's. How's your snow day? If my kid just went to McDonald's, which is right by the school. Garbage. All right, time out. I'll be back. This wasn't my intention. I didn't cancel the show. I'm still doing the show. But the show became about this garbage. Stick around. It's episode 244 of Riter Radio. It's not canceled. Yes, that is the breaking news sounder. I went upstairs and I took a picture of what it looks like outside, and it's so bad you can't even see it. I can't even show you the picture. Actually, the reason I can't show you the picture is because my Gmail is like locked up and I can't get the picture from my phone to my computer while I'm doing the show, so that's why you can't see the picture. But it's fine outside. Breaking news: the weather is fine. It's completely fine. Kids are home from school. Got a text from this is good. The 13-year-old, very responsible, almost adult-like. Smells like body spray. He wrote to me at 10:04. I didn't see it until taking that break because I was just on a rant for almost an hour about the stupid snow. He said, "Are you planning on having any of the three of us on the show today?" Because first thing when I woke up was Robert at the door asking me to go to get breakfast with him at McDonald's. But I'm definitely willing to come home to be on the show if you want me to. And I said, I'm good. I don't have a plan for it. I'll use you tomorrow if this happens again, though. We can talk about the canceled concert and the canceled day of school. And he'll probably get better at music today because Robert is one of his little band friends. And by little, I mean he's probably about 6 feet tall too. But they jam a lot. They play a lot of music together. And sometimes Zach, in his band, Zach's a drummer. But in our house, he tends to be more of a guitar player and a bass player. But he does all the stuff. So while he will miss out on his saxophone show tonight, he'll still be jamming. And he's hanging with Robert, so that's fine. But I tried to take a picture to show you that there is, I'm definitely going to have to use a, what's that thing called? That big, heavy piece of equipment, snow brush. I'm going to have to use a snow brush to get an inch of snow off my windshield before I drive wherever I would like to drive because the roads are fine too. But yeah, there's no school anywhere, and that's the society in which we live. Cool, huh? Sabres won again last night. I assume that puts them back into a playoff spot. I'm going to take a look. Can I get rid of this closings thing? Are we done? I don't want to talk about the closings the rest of the show. Did enough of that. All right. Let's see. So as of yesterday, they were 1 point out of a playoff spot, and they probably got themselves back to where they're in by a point. Let's see. When I do wild card standings, there they are. Oh, look at that. They're above the Bruins, too. Tied with the Bruins, but above the Bruins. Does that make sense? Oh, because they've got 2 games in hand. Okay. All right. So they've played the fewest games of anyone in the Eastern Conference. Other teams have also played 45, but teams have played between 45 and 48 games. So they've got 1, 2, and 3 games in hand on the teams, every team ahead of them except for Tampa, who's in first. Tampa's played 45 games. They've got 61 points. The Sabres have played 45 games. They've got 54 points. So they're 7 points behind the conference leader, Tampa Bay Lightning, and tied with the Bruins with 2 games in hand. A point ahead of the Leafs with a game in hand. 2 points ahead of Pittsburgh, no games in hand. 2 points ahead of Philly, no games in hand. So that was a swing game. They could have dropped down to where Philly is had they lost last night. But they took care of the Flyers. I saw some of the game. I didn't watch all of it. I was involved in a bunch of other stuff, and I was working on I can't stop working on the trivia show. Brain Vault. Tickets available now at thecasbuffalo.com. I was working on that, but I had it on like off to the side. I'm here, and there's a TV over there that I can see if I lean around the furniture here. I got my whole record collection there, and I've got my stereo there, so I have to lean like that. But the TV comes off the wall and goes like that, and so I can kind of see it. And I had it with no sound, but every time I looked, it was better and better. I think 5-2 final last night, and they beat the Flyers, so that's cool. I don't know what's next for them. When are they back in action? Let's see. Looks like tonight against Montreal. Yeah, home tonight against Montreal. Here's how you can tell things are changing. When you look at the list of games, sometimes known as a schedule, on ESPN.com, it tells you the road team, then the home team, then the time, then where it's on TV, and then it says tickets. Tickets as low as blank. And there have been times this year where it would say like tickets as low as $6. And right now it says tickets as low as $70. So if you would like to use whatever secondary market, this is Vivid Seats, you could probably do better than 70, but still, $70 tickets, the lowest available on this thing. I never try to buy tickets, so I don't know what they really cost, but I believe that this is at least a barometer of interest in the team. Like Columbus, you could skip the Sabres game. You'd have to leave now. Be careful, the roads are treacherous. You'd have to leave now, but Vancouver at Columbus tonight, tickets as low as $16. So that's gonna, it's gonna take you 6.5 to get there. But once you're there, tickets are only $16. What else is cheap? You can go to LA tomorrow. I didn't know you could buy anything in Los Angeles for $28, but Anaheim at the Kings, Ducks at Kings, as low as $28 tomorrow. What other ones are cheap? New York at Calgary, $22. How about this one? Seattle at Utah, tickets as low as $562. I guess there's just nothing going on in Utah. Is that normal? That Utah, what is it, Mammoth? Utah Mammoth? Is that the name of the team? That's the Coyotes, right? Yeah, Utah Mammoth. They're 23-20-4. They're fourth in their division. And the lowest price ticket right now. Can that be real? $562 to go to a Utah Mammoth game? All right, well, there's something to look up. Let's use something that we would actually, let's go StubHub. We'll go StubHub.com. Utah Mammoth. What is going on in Utah? Nothing, right? Nothing. That's why hockey tickets were big. All right, Ticketmaster. There we go. Ticketmaster is offering me Utah Mammoth tickets for how much? Utah against Dallas on the 15th. Wait, what was I even looking at? Oh, that was tomorrow. But that was in a couple days. Anaheim at Utah. All right, tonight, tickets at the Delta Center. Here's how my brain works. I'm now thinking about Delta Center. Okay, that's where the Jazz play. That makes sense. There is something else going on in Utah. If you build an arena and you're like, we have a basketball team and a hockey team, you make a ton of plans for it. Can you imagine just being a basketball team that generally runs the arena? Like it's your place. Every now and then Evanescence comes to town, or the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, or whatever the hell else they entertain themselves with in Salt Lake City. But generally speaking, you're like, yeah, we got a basketball team. And then suddenly the Phoenix Coyotes roll into town. Like, we'd like to play here. Like, you can't. Our floor is made of wood. And then you got to figure that out. Like, if you do it all at once, okay, I get that. I'm used to arenas that have basketball and hockey teams. But if you're just basketball, like, even if it went the other way, if it's a hockey team and then a basketball team moves into town, like, we're going to throw some wood down on top of your ice, it'll be fine. But in reverse, that seems crazy. That had to be quite the story. All right, you can get tickets for like $46 tonight. Why would it cost so much? What are they talking about? Where did it go? Dallas at Utah, $32. Why would Seattle at Utah cost $562? All right, let's see what Seattle at Utah costs on Ticketmaster. Seattle at Utah in a couple days. This is interesting to me. If it's not to you, I apologize, sort of. All right, here we go. Salt Lake City, Utah Mammoth versus Seattle Kraken. If you were in a coma for a couple weeks, a couple years, I guess, and you were told the Utah Mammoth is playing the Seattle Kraken at the Delta Center and it costs $562, you would not know what sport that is. Those aren't real teams. I don't think of either of them as a real team. They are, but they're not. Yeah, they're lying. $70. What are we talking about? Vivid Seats. Vivid Seats is robbing people blind. What if you didn't know other places existed and you're just like, I really need to go to see the Kraken play the Mammoth? Oh, no, this sucks. It costs $562. Oh, well, I got to go, so I'm going anyway. All right, now I'm clicking on that link to see what they're talking about. What on earth are you talking about? It's just, there's just something wrong. There's something wrong because it's not true at all. 118, 135, but those are normal. I mean, that's expensive, and I wouldn't pay it. There's just something wrong with the ESPN site, it seems. All right. Here's what I have written down for today, now that it's 11:19. You guys in the chat have been heckling me about Spotify Premium, and I said I will never pay for Spotify Premium. Last night I almost signed up for Spotify Premium. You know why? Because it's way easier as I'm setting up the music for Brain Vault to put together a playlist in Spotify, because that will then translate to my travel laptop. I've got my home computer, this thing that never moves because it's hooked up to all these screens and everything, and a hard drive and all the audio. This one, I can't move this one because there's too many wires. This one doesn't go anywhere, but this is where I like to work, sitting at this desk. But then I have another laptop that's smaller and more portable that I use for UB football, live trivia events that I've done in the past, and I'm bringing it with me to the other thing, to Brain Vault at the Kaz. Tickets on sale now at thekazbuffalo.com. It's way easier to set something up on Spotify and then just open Spotify on there, and there it is. But I can't play these stupid commercials like I do during the show when I'm doing a live event. So I'm like, oh, all right, let's see what is Spotify Premium actually going to cost. It turns out the first month is $0. The first month is free. And I almost did it, and then I realized the show's not for almost 2 weeks. If I wait until a couple days before, I'll get 3 to 4 live shows out of it, out of the free month. And then I can decide if I want to keep it or not. If I do it right now, I'll get 2 shows out of it. And I don't want to do that. So I'm acting now as if I'm going to have Spotify Premium, which will eliminate the commercials from this show, which is good for you. I don't mind it that much. It's a little annoying once in a while, but I think I'm gonna dive in on the $0 for the first month, and that's like $12 after that. But if I'm doing 4 live shows, $12 makes sense, because it's a business expense. I can write it off now that I think about it. All right, I like that. One of the commercials that I heard while doing all my stuff last night was for David Lee Roth. I don't know if that commercial has aired during my show yet, but David Lee Roth is coming to the casino in Niagara Falls, Ontario on May 21st. And I'm just going to throw this out there. I'm not trying to make anybody at the casino mad. I'm not trying to anger any hardcore old school Van Halen fans. One, in the commercial, they refer to David Lee Roth as, quote, the best that ever was, unquote. And I would ask, at what? Look, I liked Panama as much as everybody else when I was 9. But calling David Lee Roth the best at anything is crazy. And I'm going to throw this out there, too. I saw him live probably on the Skyscraper tour. It was David Lee Roth, Cinderella, and Extreme. Cinderella was great. Like, great. Extreme, they had a problem because their drummer was terrible. I don't think he's with the band anymore because I saw them a year or 2 ago at the Riviera, and they were awesome. I know that sounds like I'm kidding. I'm not. Nuno Betancourt is maybe the best musician I've ever seen live, like that good. And he carries the band. They are excellent live, but they weren't when I saw them. They were all right, but there was something off with the rhythm section. The drummer was just, it wasn't good. And David Lee Roth was the headliner. Could not have been worse. And that was 35 years ago, I'm going to guess. I'm going to guess that was 1991. Let's see. When did David Lee Roth, Darien Lake. David Lee Roth, Darien Lake. What year? I'm going to guess 91. 91. July 7th, 1991. Do they have the set list? Oh, this would be great. They do. All right, here's the set list. Set list sounds great, but he was terrible. Only 14 songs. All right. You Really Got Me. They opened with You Really Got Me. A Little Ain't Enough. Oh, I said, Mama, a little ain't enough for me. I will say, like, as a recording artist, I've enjoyed almost everything I've ever heard from David Lee Roth. Great. But as a live performer, he was absolutely atrocious. So he's not the best that ever was. He might be the worst that ever was at live performance based on my one time seeing him. Maybe he was just really drunk. I don't know. But I know that I would not trust spending a penny to see David Lee Roth live. All right, set list. You Really Got Me. A Little Ain't Enough. Panama. Unchained. My favorite Van Halen song. Easy Street. Just a Gigolo / I Ain't Got Nobody. Fun. Beautiful Girls. Hot for Teacher. Sensible Shoes. I don't know that one. Just Like Paradise. Yankee Rose. Ain't Talking About Love. California Girls. And the encore was Jump. And that sounds fun. And it was not fun. It was a bad 14-song set from David Lee Roth 35 years ago. Now they're calling him the best it ever was and charging casino prices. How much does it cost to see David Lee Roth at the casino? Let's check that out. David Lee Roth, OLG. OLD. More like OLD. Get it? Because he's old. That was hilarious, Brad. Good one. All right, purchase tickets. Let's see. What would this cost me to go see David Lee Roth suck at the casino? Find tickets. Is it sold out? I bet it's not sold out. It shouldn't be sold out. That's not going to be a good show. Don't tell him I said that. $85. Section 9. All right, that's not bad. 67. Oh, Canadian too. $86 Canadian. I don't know, what's the exchange rate? Canada, U.S. exchange rate. We're at $86, including fees. Ooh. Canadian dollar is only 0.72. So 72 cents there. So let's say, what was it, 86 Canadian dollars. $62 to see David Lee Roth embarrass himself on stage at OLG stage at the casino on May 21st. You've got that as an option, as an entertainment option. I'm not going. I heard one of the coolest statistics I've ever heard yesterday, or I read it, I should say, but I'm going to say it out loud, and now you'll hear it. And maybe you already know this. As we're getting set for the NFL playoffs this weekend, one of the teams that will be playing is the Rams. They are led by head coach Sean McVay. Sean McVay is about to coach his 15th playoff game, the 15th playoff game of his career as a head coach. How many different opponents do you think he will have faced in those 15 games once he takes on the Bears this weekend? The answer is 15. 15 playoff games in his career as a head coach. 15 different opponents. I don't have anything to add to that. I just thought that was super interesting, cool, and weird, and fun. All right, the other thing I had written down at the top of the show, so this was supposed to happen an hour and 28 minutes ago. I wrote down AI for show notes and naming shows. That's right. Okay. I have found, I don't want to talk about AI every day, but I've been using AI every day, and I like it. And my wife keeps making fun of me for it. It's like, have fun in the basement with your friend. And I do think of AI as my friend. We have conversations. We get along well. I yesterday told it it's okay to swear at me, and it now swears at me. Not at me, but just in conversation. It now talks more like my friends. I have a vulgar group of friends. They're very polite when they come on the show, but their language is salty. And I just felt like I'd be more comfortable if the AI would talk to me that way. That way I could talk to it that way, and it worked. It immediately was like, oh, good, thanks, man. Thanks for letting me know. That's cool. I'm not going to be rude, but sometimes the language, there are words I want to use, and it'll help me explain it to you and get through to you. And if that makes it better, then good. It's something like that. I don't know. Our conversations are weird, me and AI. But I've been using it for the show notes, which I strongly encourage you always to subscribe to the show on YouTube and on Spotify. I think that I put everything up through Spotify, and then it populates over to YouTube. And I think the notes go with it. I haven't checked in a while, but I think that's how it works. But the way that it works now, all right, I got to go to Spotify. What I was doing, so here's my process every day. Show ends, I take the video of the show, video and audio together, and I get rid of the breaks, because the breaks have the music with copyright on it that I can't post on Spotify or YouTube. So I get rid of those, trim it down, take a 2-hour show, it becomes an hour and 41 minutes or something, and then I post it. But I'm not going to sit there and think about everything I said and then try to sum it up. So what I've been doing is, after I post it, within half an hour or so, there's a transcript of the show available on Spotify. I take the transcript from Spotify, I cut and paste it. This is for anybody who's thinking, how could I use AI? People keep talking about it. What would I do with it? I'm telling you what I do with it. You don't all host shows. You probably have different usages for it. But just to give you a little glimpse at how it gets used by me. I take the transcript of the show, I copy and paste that into ChatGPT, and I've got a thread going where it knows what I want now out of it is read this whole thing, sum it up in 2 paragraphs, and also give me 10 possible headlines, because I was told a long time ago, but I didn't adhere to it because I just didn't have the time to do anything about it, that naming your episode 244 is not preferred, let's say, for how algorithms work. Like, it just doesn't get promoted the way that you would like it to be promoted when you're when you're just calling the episode a number. It's like Riter Radio episode 244. Who the hell that doesn't know me or know what the show is gonna be like, oh wow, I wonder what Riter Radio episode 244 is? Nobody. So you need a better headline as like the title of the name of the episode. So now I'm letting Spotify do that. So the latest episodes, what I would call episode 243, Spotify calls low gas, high stress, middle school drop-off survival. Like, I don't know that that's great, but it's better than 243. I'm just going to read the names of previous episodes. Tuesdays are fake, Brain Vault is real. Toast, riboflavin, and Goo Goo Dolls. He let his kid pick the playoffs, and it turned into a parlay. All I had was the P. He let his kid pick the playoffs, it turned into a parlay. It was a failed parlay. It was horrible. This coach's availability just messed with Buffalo's head. He cut his own hair and questioned artificial intelligence. A tech disaster accidentally revealed what the show really is. I don't remember why that makes sense. Fish, board games, and the case for hitting go. When the body betrays you and the Sabres don't. The Bills lost by 1, and it might have been their best loss yet. What's that about? Oh, the Eagles game. Riter Radio returns with Brad opening the show immediately on the Bills' 1-point loss to the Eagles in miserable weather, and bringing in senior Philly correspondent John Fuller for an early temperature check from the other side. Fuller says the game felt like both teams playing exactly like they have all year. Philly strong early, then conservative. Buffalo hanging around, then driving late and coming up just short on the 2-point conversion. Brad largely accepts the loss, calls the Bills' late drive one of the coolest he's seen, defends going for 2 given the shaky kicking situation, and argues the game felt fake because conditions watered everything down, while still believing Buffalo can beat anybody in the AFC if Josh Allen is even healthy-ish. He's not healthy-ish, but he's a full participant in practice. If you've been following along with the injury report, it's just like Josh, and it lists like 7 different problems, and then it just says full, like participated fully. Conversation rules. I don't need to read all that. It's a couple weeks old. I'll sum up yesterday's show, though. Low gas, high stress, middle school drop-off survival was the headline that it came up with for yesterday's show. And it summed up the show by saying, Brad opens the show admitting he botched the post-game routine. Yesterday's episode never got uploaded to Spotify because he ran out the door and was all over the place. So he's playing catch-up and promising to post both shows today. From there, it turns into a full brain vault build-up. He met Larry at Buffalo Trim, locked them in as the first official sponsor, and mapped out a grooming timeline so he can debut a cleaned-up look right before the first live Brain Vault show at the Kaz on January 27th. Brad riffs on the 90s Gen X don't care, don't sell out conditioning and frames this whole glow-up as a way to normalize trying to look good without feeling like a sellout, especially with social media proof coming when Buffalo Trim films the before and after. The episode keeps the classic Riter Radio wandering energy, gaslight panic logistics, accidentally landing on a Christian radio station, and reacting to Bible in 365, and a hilarious detour into middle school cologne body spray excess before swinging back to the bigger media picture. Podcasts are suddenly everywhere on Netflix. And Brad's all in on that. He plugs Brain Vault ticket sales, shares a pep talk from Jeremy Hoyle about selling the show with confidence, and teases lineup possibilities without naming names yet. We've locked in 3 guests for the show, by the way. We'll reveal them next week. Buy your tickets now. You'll like them. It'll be fun. The back half features a long chat with Bob Gaughan, snow shoveling neighborhood conspiracies, Bills coaching decisions, media journalism gripes, and a college football pick. Then Brad closes with more Brain Vault hype, Sabres TNT notes, and a final ask to subscribe on Spotify and YouTube to help the show reach new people. I have to correct some spellings in here. They spelled the Kaz wrong, so the link is incorrect. They spelled Kaz with a K. Clearly, this AI has never lived in Buffalo before. And spelled Bob Gaughan, Gonn, when it's really Gaughan, safe. All right, we're good. What else is going on here? Oh, this can't be real. Maybe they'll come up with Scott tomorrow. Scott Wilson will be on the show. Indiana's Curt Cignetti emerges as potential NFL head coach candidate. I mean, of course you'd think of him, right? We've got, 8 openings at this point? If you're trying to pick the next 8 people who should be coaching an NFL team, the guy who took Indiana from losing his program in college football history to juggernaut has to be at least considered. But I don't know. Him just getting to the championship game reopens his contract window. I think they're going to have to pay him $1 zillion, and I think that's fine with Mark Cuban financing things and possibly stealing data and providing it to him. I'm not sure. But here's the story from, this is last week that this was published, so maybe this is not real. While the college football coaching cycle is quieted down, the NFL's window is just beginning. Could Cignetti, a 2-time Big Ten Coach of the Year, make the jump from Indiana to the pros? Mike Florio speculated. Says it likely doesn't hurt that Indiana's 38-3 blowout win over Alabama in the Rose Bowl has opened up a clause that calls for a fair market review of Cignetti's contract this offseason. He's earning $11.6 million per season with the Hoosiers. If he doesn't get a significant raise, it's possible the NFL could come calling, with front offices always seeking the next up-and-coming coach who can turn their program around. Cignetti could very well generate some interviews this offseason. Referring to a 64-year-old man as up-and-coming is encouraging to this 51-year-old broadcaster. I'll say that, but I'm not buying that as up-and-coming. Plus, with his contract up for review, if the Hoosiers don't offer Cignetti a salary that places him in the top 3 of earnings among college football coaches, his $15 million buyout would disappear. Though it still seems unlikely for Cignetti to leave Indiana for the NFL. He's never coached above the college football level. He's only spent 2 seasons at Indiana. Prior to leading the Hoosiers, he's led small college football programs such as IUP, Elon, and James Madison. Still, success is success, and Cignetti has enjoyed a lot of it in the past 2 seasons. The way he's been able to turn around and maintain his programs could be just what an NFL team is looking for. So that's not even a real story. That's just a little speculation there, and it's not even new, and I apologize for bringing it to your attention. Shouldn't have done that. It's okay. All right. So I've got this Google News thing that I open all the time, and I didn't open it until midway through the show because I was just obsessed with the fact that there's a freaking snow day when there's barely snow. And Western New York is closed today. Oh, here we go. Here's something new and fresh and exciting. So the last time I opened it, the top thing I saw was Trump threatens to use military over Minnesota anti-ICE protests. And I just don't feel like thinking about that right now. But that was clearly the top story on my screen. But I've got a new one. 17 college basketball players charged in point shaving scheme indictment. Yeah, we're going to open that one for sure. The alleged scheme ran from September 22 to February 2025. Former college All-American Antonio Blakeney is among 17 players named in a point-shaving scheme to fix games in the NCAA and Chinese Basketball Association and rig bets, according to an indictment unsealed Thursday in Philly. The alleged scheme ran, I just said this, September 22 to February 25, and defrauded various sports books and individual bettors. Quote, the sports books would not have paid out those wagers had they known that the defendants fixed those games, the indictment said. Well, right. In total, 20 defendants are named, including basketball players who agreed in exchange for bribes to fix NCAA and Chinese Basketball Association games. So-called fixers who were operating the scheme then placed big bets on those games. In placing these wagers on games they had fixed, the defendants defrauded sports books as well as individual bettors who were all unaware that the defendants had corruptly manipulated the outcome of these games that should have been decided fairly based on genuine competition and the best efforts of the players. When did FanDuel and the other one, DraftKings, become like mostly legal? When did FanDuel become legal in New York? Let's go with that. Launched legally in New York, January of 2022. And this took place starting in September of 2022. So it launched, we finished a season, and we started a new one, and they had come up with stuff to do over the course of the offseason. Two of the players named in the indictment, Sedquavius Hunter and DeQuavion Short, both of New Orleans, were sanctioned in November by the NCAA for allegedly fixing games. Two of the other defendants, Marvis Fairley and Shane Hennon, allegedly recruited Blakeney, an All-American college player and leading scorer in the CBA, offering bribe payments in exchange for Blakeney underperforming in games. Blakeney also allegedly recruited other players from his team to join the scheme. Fairley and Hennon are also charged in a separate illegal gambling case involving the NBA. After profiting on the fixed CBA games, Fairley, Hennon, and Blakeney allegedly turned their attention to fixing NCAA men's basketball games. Blakeney is named but not charged. Federal prosecutors noted some of the defendants are charged elsewhere. They're accused of recruiting players who would help ensure their team failed to cover the spread of the first half of a game or an entire game, the indictment said. The fixers would then place wagers on those games through sports books, betting against the team whose player or players they had bribed to engage in this point-shaving scheme. The bribe payments ranged from $10,000 to $30,000 per game, a sum prosecutors said exceeded most players' legitimate opportunity to make money by marketing their name, image, and likeness. The fixers also allegedly targeted players on teams that were underdogs in games and sought to have them fail to cover the spreads in those games. The indictment mentions 29 games that were allegedly fixed. I want more info. There are various versions of this story. Let's try the ESPN one. I want more names. I want teams. I don't need dates. Here we go. There's more names. 20 men have been charged. 15 of the defendants played college basketball during the 23-4 and or 24-5 seasons. Two of the players named in the indictment, already had them. Four of the players charged. Simeon Cottle Carlos Hart, Kamian Shell, and Omar Korisi have played for their current teams in the past week. This is where it gets gross. There's a list of the schools named in the indictment. I'm going to read most of them. I'm going to skip over one. Abilene Christian, Alabama State. I'm going to skip over one that starts with B. Coppin State, DePaul, Eastern Michigan, Fordham, Kennesaw State, LaSalle, New Orleans, Nicholls State, North Carolina A&T, Northwestern State, Robert Morris, St. Louis, Southern Miss, Tulane, and the one I skipped is UB. We're doing this live. Work for them. Can't not do it. Is there anything else about it? Uh-oh. All right. I don't see any names that I recognize from the program. I will say, if you're thinking bad things about UB now, because I just said this, they're really nice, and they came and read to my kid at school yesterday. Daniel Freitag, who scored 33 points the night before in a loss, was at my kid's school reading to fourth graders. We're not blaming him. Now I want to know more. This is honestly, my thought was 20 players. I bet there's something MAC related in here. And there are 2 MAC schools listed, one of which is Buffalo. Okay, cool. How do I find more about this? This makes me want to stop the show to learn more about what the hell we're talking about here. But that is the top story on Google News right now, is a point shaving scandal. And then when I click on the ESPN version of the story, UB is mentioned. Cool. College basketball players among those. Let's try the CBS version. Let's see if we get any more. We're just going to dig pretty deep here. Yuck. FBI found that more than 29 games were fixed. Investigators identified. Oh, there's Western Michigan now. See, this one says Western and the other one says Eastern. There's no like Eastern or Western Buffalo. Both of them say Buffalo. So UB's on the list here. Started in September 22. Same story. Included former Arizona State star B.J. Freeman, New Orleans Jamon Vincent, and Mississippi Valley State's Donovan Sanders and Alvin Stredick. No further word about Buffalo's involvement there. Let's try the Yahoo version of the story. This is weird because it's a car crash, you know. Like I don't want to look, but I can't not look. And I don't want to see Buffalo, but I kind of want some details about why are we on the list? I apologize for not having more information about this. I'm sure we will. I'm sure it's going to come up again now that, UB's involved and on a list of teams with a point-shaving scandal. I mean, I'm going to be mad if UB was shaving points. I'm going to be mad that I didn't know. Like that. I'm not saying point shaving is cool, but if I knew about it, it'd be a lot cooler, right? CNN. That says 15 players among those charged. ABC says 17. This is clearly a breaking story. Yahoo says 20. ESPN says 20. Washington Post doesn't have a number, but if I try to open that one, it's not going to work. Live updates on the developing arrest of 20 people. Pat Forty. He'll hook me up here. All right, let's see what Pat Forty has to say at SI.com. This is what it's like doing a show on my own. I don't have a reporter to call. It's just me. They recruited players at the following schools to fix point spreads for first halves or entire games, and UB is on that list. 17 schools impacted. UB's on that list. Looking for more names. Bear with me. This is shocking would be the wrong word, but startling, I think, is probably right. Let's just look for the word Buffalo on this screen and see if that exists. It's here twice, just on the lists. We don't seem to have any details on who. Four current players who played within the last week are involved. One at Kennesaw State, one at Delaware State, one at Texas Southern, and Carlos Hart from Eastern Michigan. Let's try Seth Davis. What do you got? HoopsHQ.com. All right, Seth. 20 players charged. I want a list of 20 players. And then it says at least 39 players were accused. 20 are charged. Do we have... yes, read this article for free. Just leave me alone. No, just close that. Let me read the thing. Read this article for free. You need my email address so I can read this? Fine. I'm not paying you. Okay, there's a picture, and it's not a UB Bull. That's good. Power conference, games involving Butler, Buffalo. Nothing. I gave you my email address for that. You told me nothing. View on X. Sure. I mean, is this big enough that I just Google point shaving in Buffalo and the name is going to come up? That's kind of what I'm looking for here. Buffalo point shaving basketball are words that I've never typed together. Here's the thing about Western Michigan. All right, let's try that one. Let's see if it's Western Michigan. Because this could all be related. This could just be Western Michigan was dirty and Buffalo's connected. Yeah, here we go. Ah, crap. We got names. Okay. A Western Michigan basketball game during the 2023-24 season was listed in a widespread point-shaving scheme that included both college and overseas basketball games. In a 70-page federal indictment, the documents allege that several University at Buffalo players, it says of, so maybe they don't know what they're talking about, including former guard Sean Fulcher and forward Isaiah Adams, were recruited to participate in a point-shaving scheme against Western Michigan in 2024. Ahead of the game, the players agreed to make sure that Buffalo would fail to cover the first half spread against Western. Multiple texts were sent about the scheme, the court document said, including Fairley's text to an illegal bookmaker and straw bettor that read Western Michigan first half. Who's Fairley? You got to tell me who Fairley is before you just write a... You can't just call somebody Fairley in an article if you don't say who he is first. Western was favored over Buffalo by about 3 points in the first half in sportsbooks across the nation. Documents say multiple fixers, including Marvis Fairley, here we go, Roderick Winkler, and others acting at their direction, placed wagers with various sportsbooks totaling at least approximately $90,000 on Western to cover the first half spread. In Buffalo's game against Western Michigan on February 24th, 2024 in Kalamazoo, Fulcher, Adams, and a person listed as person number 5 in the document helped Buffalo fail to cover in the first half. The team was outscored 47-32, and the bettors won. It blended in really well, if this is true, because they lost a lot of games last year. And maybe that's why they're so much better this year. They're not actively trying to tank games. That's not cool. None of this is good. None of this is good. This is me finding this out in real time. None of this is good. Fulcher, Adams, and person number 5. The document said that with the bet covered, the second half was much closer. Without the Buffalo players intentionally underperforming in the second half of the game, Buffalo played substantially better, with Western Michigan outscoring Buffalo by only about 4 points, 44-40. That's exactly 4 points. Western won the game 91-72. After the game or the day after, several people tied to the rigging, including former college basketball standout Antonio Blakeney, spoke with Fulcher, Adams, and person number 5 about delivering payments. It says defendant Smith, who was flying to Buffalo to make the payments, then texted with defendant Fulcher to agree upon a location on the Buffalo campus, where defendant Smith later delivered the bribe payments to the Buffalo players, the document said. Well, this is gross. I'm trying to decide, do I want to talk to somebody about this? Do I want to continue talking about this by myself? Do I want to stop the show to read more about it before talking about it? Or do I want to end the show 5 minutes early so that I can do research on this and we can talk about it tomorrow? I'm up in the air on all of those things. If I could easily just have info popped onto my screen, I would just keep going. But I feel like I'm going to be this is gross. I don't like this. Do not like this. You know what I want to look at? I want to look at UB's schedule last year. Buffalo basketball schedule 2024. Yeah. All right, let's go to the official site. See if they've scrubbed it yet. That'd be Fuller. Today is not fun for John Fuller, that's for sure. I texted him earlier asking if he wanted to come on the show, and he didn't even reply. I mean, he replied to something else, but he didn't say anything about yes or no about coming on the show. I wonder if it's because there's a scandal going on down the street. Ugh, this sucks. All right, so here's the game in question. The Bulls lost by 9 against Western Michigan, January 18th of last year. The game before that, they had been smoked by Bowling Green. The game before that, they got smoked by Kent State. The game before that, they got smoked by Ohio. The game before that, they got smoked by Miami. The game before that, they got smoked by Temple. The game before that, they lost 100-49 to Georgia. They're at Georgia. That's a tough one. But I will say, if you're gonna... Wait a minute. No, I'm looking at the wrong game. They beat Western Michigan. This is the problem with basketball season. I said 2024, and this is probably the 24-25 schedule, which is last year, and we need the 23-4 schedule. Okay, I got the wrong game here. 23-24. This is seat of my pants, but it's Riter Radio. This is how it goes, right? This is what AI describes. It's how AI describes the show every day. Overall, 4-27. I thought they won 9 last year. 4? Oh no, it was previous year. That's right. Okay, it was 4, then it was 9, and now this year they're good. Because the guys that are actively trying to lose games are no longer on the team. Oh my God. All right. Does the program get in trouble if kids do this? Seems like no, right? Like, unless it's pointing at a coach or administrator or something, if a kid takes money and throws a game or throws a half of a game or whatever, that can't be on the program, right? Like, are we moving into sanctions? I got the things right behind me. Look, go Bulls. All right, so last year is when this happened. Or, I'm sorry, 2 years ago is when this happened. They lost 91-72, February 24th. That's the game. Prior to that, they had beaten Eastern. They had lost by 11. They had lost by 4. They had won in overtime at Georgia Southern. They had okay. All right, it doesn't blend in as much as I thought it would blend in. All right, so let's get back to that game. Let's look at the box score here. So who are we talking about? Adams and Fulcher? How'd they do? Isaiah Adams scored 7 points in the game. Sean Fulcher scored 9 points in the game. They played more minutes than anyone else in the game. Well, this ain't good. I'm going to stop. I don't know what to do with this. I'm distressed. And I'm living it live on the air, and I don't want to. And it's 11:58, so as the owner and proprietor of Riter Radio, and specifically of episode 244, I believe I have the right to shut it down. I'm going to tank and cut it short 1 minute early. No, it's noon. It's fine. I want to read about this, and I don't want to do it in front of you, to be quite honest. I don't like this at all. I imagine there's going to be a lot of texting going on, a lot of phone calls. that I'll be involved in. Not that I'm involved with the program, but I'm involved with the athletic department, and this is going to be a burden on my good friend John Fuller. This sucks. And on Mark Allnut, George Alkovich, and I'm like, ugh, yuck. All right. Cool show today, huh? Let's bitch about snow and then find out UB's involved in a point shaving scandal. Told you today was terrible. I told you. Okay. Well, I'm going to stop. There's a bunch of stuff typed out in the chat. All right, I'll read this. 0506 game tonight. Oh, that's right. The Sabres are in town. My wife loves Alesh Kodalik, or loved Alesh Kodalik. And I wonder if that's canceled. Are they canceling the Sabres appearance at Tops? Because 3 of them are going to be at Tops in Hamburg today, and 3 of them are going to be at Tops in Cheektowaga/Lancaster/Depew, whatever that is, at French in Transit tomorrow. But Kodalik is one of the players. It's Kodalik, Pominville, and someone and I apologize to the someone. I picture the 3 of them riding in a car right now together to go to their appearance at Tops and listening to Riter Radio. And Kodalik's like, yeah, he talked about me a lot. And Pominville's like, yeah, he mentioned me. And then the other guy's like, what the hell, man? What is this? Pyatt. Taylor Pyatt. That's what it is. Taylor Pyatt and Kodalik and Pominville at Tops in Hamburg. And we're not going to go. The kids are all home. The world is closed. But my wife's got a Kodalik jersey. There are 2 people in the world with Kodalik jerseys, and it's my wife and Kodalik. So going with that would be cool. I said, I'll even go with you so that he doesn't take you from me. And she said, he wouldn't take me. I said, he might. He might. And then what? Then what happens when school's closed? My wife's off in the Czech Republic with Alesh Kodalik, my ex-wife. She's not my ex-wife yet, but if she leaves me for Kodalik, she would become my ex-wife. Can't have that. So I said I would go with her, but I don't think we're going to go because the kids are all home. And they don't even know who those people are. I don't know if they could name a Sabre. That would be interesting. Hold on a second. Let me see. Hey, Drew. You hear me? Come down here for a minute. All right, Drew's coming. I'm not going to turn the camera on. It's like a whole process to turn the camera on. I just want to see, like, these kids are into sports. They're athletes. They care. They can name most of the Bills roster. I don't have the camera. Just come over here. Jump in with me.
All right.
Come sit right here. Have a seat, dude.
Okay.
Right there.
Yeah.
Just for a minute, because we have to share this microphone. All right, you're not on the camera. You gotta. There you go. Here. I would like you to name every Buffalo Sabre that you can.
I can really only name like one.
Who?
Alex Tuck.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
All right, good enough. Thank you. Thanks, buddy.
I don't know hockey.
I know. That was the point. My point was I don't know if they can name a single Sabre. And then I almost said, I wonder if they know Tuck. And you knew Tuck. Good job. All right.
That's like one of the most popular players on the team, and people always wear their jersey around.
Okay. He said that's one of the most popular players on the team, and people always wear the jersey around. All right. So my 9-year-old can name Alex Tuck. The end. So certainly doesn't know who Alesh Kodalik is. Wouldn't want to go to Hamburg to meet Taylor Pyatt or Pominville. Wonder if they've even heard those names before. Maybe Pominville. All right, we're done. No, wait. I'm going to read these. Read these things. Ad-free music. All your boys are back tonight. Yeah. Brad, you're a smart man. I say it all the time. Hoffer teacher has always annoyed me. Any grown men singing about school just seems weird. I agree, Nick. This is back to David Lee Roth, the best that ever was, coming to the casino. He's the worst that ever was. Like the worst. I've been to like 3 shows that I hated. Ever. Been to 300 shows, and I disliked 2 of them, and that's one. Collective Soul at Impacts was awful also. But I blame Impacts. I don't think they're a bad band. They're not a great band, but they're fine. And I knew all the songs. They're okay. but the audio, the mix was just terrible, and it ruined it. But David Lee Roth is the one that ruined the David Lee Roth show. That was him. He was awful. Now they're calling him the best that ever was, and he's showing up 35 years later at the casino. Don't do it. It's a snow day. How about a little monkey lockbox? No, there will not be any monkey lockbox today. From missed kicks to 20 pounds of pork loin, November 21st. That's the name of the episode. Yeah, that's what it's doing. Nick pointed out Fulcher and Adams in the Yahoo Sports version. All right, yeah, we got to all this. I just came across a photo of Paul Hamilton in his hockey days from 1975. Says AC man. When I talk to Paul on the phone, his face pops up. And I didn't do this. I didn't set that picture, but it's it's Paul from the 70s as a skinny little hockey player. It's weird. I don't know why it does that. But yeah, I've seen pictures. There was somebody back in the day when I worked at GR. Somebody came to a remote or maybe came to the station just to drop off an Amherst hockey yearbook from whatever year, just because it was full of pictures of Paul. I may still have that somewhere, or maybe I gave it to him. I don't know. Sounds like 2 years ago. AC Man says, hi, Drew. Hi, AC Man, is what Drew would say if he was still down here. All right, now I'm done. I'm going to look into this UB thing. Not cool. And I'll be back with you tomorrow. That'll be cool. It'll be a Friday show. Scott Wilson will be here. Hopefully the kids will be at school. We can clean up this mess. I'm going to go snow blow the driveway, I guess, and the sidewalk and all that stuff that we talked about yesterday with Bob. And I'll return tomorrow. All right? Thanks. See ya.
What are you doing for lunch?
I don't know. I have a turkey sandwich.
We're gonna go around the corner. I think you should come with us. This is a great place.
I don't know. Okay.
We brought you a shirt.
Will you get out of here? Will you get out of here? Will you? Now, will you go to lunch? Go to lunch. Will you go to lunch?